Welcome back. Take a look at this product. This is Magic Grime by Jnewboy Customs. This stuff, it comes in a tiny jar, about an ounce, maybe a little bit more, but you can see that it's very, very thick. You can see that it's almost like mud. You need a couple things. You're gonna need baby wipes. You're gonna need a nice round brush, and you're gonna need a used toothbrush. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna dabble it all over the area that I want to work on. Spread it around. I don't want too much in one spot. Now I will scrub it into all of the little tiny crevices, all over the flats, all over every little area that I can get it into. This stuff is going to model a wash, but it's also going to model a filter. I'm going to use the round brush to get into all of those little places I can't get with the toothbrush. Now that it's all on there, I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to blot and wipe, but not with any kind of force, just a little bit, just a touch. And you'll see that the little crevices hold the Magic Grime, and that's your filter and wash combo. I want to leave some of it in the crevices. I want to leave some of it on the edges. It gives it that filth, it gives it that dirt, that dark used look. And you can see already that the color of the paint in general has changed. It's darker now and has less of the shine than the normal plastic. Once in a while you'll get a little thread, a little piece here and there that comes off the baby wipe. Notice also that when I wiped it off, I'm wiping at a certain direction. This is important to note. I'm going to start doing the front, and you will see that when I start to wipe it off, I'm going to go at the same direction that gravity would take the filth, like rain. You also saw there for a second that I got some of my fingers. Absolutely 100% non-toxic. Don't worry about getting it on your skin. It comes right off with warm water and soap. I'm going to leave this little island over on the left side so you can see what it looks like next to a piece that's not done. Just going to do the front and then wipe off. Important that we get all the areas, don't leave areas undone. You know, get in with that round brush, get all of it. If you do miss a spot, it's easy to go back over. This stuff is very forgiving. It's great for a starter modeler or a person that, you know, hasn't done it very much, or a person that doesn't want to invest a lot of money in 20 or 30 different washes and filters and whatnot. So you can see that I wanted a little bit more filth in there, so I put some more in. I'm wiping and wiping, but I'm not wiping it really hard. I'm just blotting the surfaces, leaving it around the edges. And you can see what a difference that little island on the left there is compared to the rest of the tank already. Notice that I'm wiping it in the direction of the runoff. This is the runoff that happens naturally, and you'll see these streaks on models. Most of the time this is done with what's called streaking grime, but yet this is another product you will not need to buy if you use Magic Grime. Top surfaces are what I really want to get. I want to get all of it off of the very, very tops. This KV1 has color modulation already done to it. So when I wipe it off the tops, you can really see that they pop nicely. Now notice the decal. I'm going to coat it with the Tresemme hairspray. Any hairspray will do, but you do want to seal it with some kind of finisher. I use hairspray. It's cheap, it's quick and efficient. The reason you want to seal the decal is that the magic grime will go into the paint. And if you don't seal it, the paint around the decal will absorb more of it than the paint underneath the decal. And when you wipe it away, the area underneath the decal will still look clean. The rest of it will have taken on a little bit of a shade. You want it to have one uniform shade. Wiping out that island, now you can see that it's all uniform on that side of the tank, and I'll be wiping it now off of the decal. Notice I'm doing it the same way with my finger underneath the baby wipe, and I'm going in the direction that the rain would bring the filth and muck and buildup that occurs on anything left outside. Tanks are particularly filthy because of the gun and the other parts of battle that make them gross and mucky. You can see that I'm going to put on streaks and then take them off and put on more streaks and take those off. And I'm doing this to show you that you can make mistakes like I just did by wiping too much off and then simply fix it very quickly. You can take more off, you can add more, you can keep playing with it. It has a very long time before it dries completely, and so it's very forgiving. You can get exactly the right look that you want. This is not something that is terribly hard to use. Sometimes I just use my finger to muddle it. Sometimes I use the baby wipe. Remember, it is non-toxic. 100% acrylic. More smudging, more smudging. And now you can see what it looks like after I have wiped it on the entire top of the turret. And I'm going to be wiping it off. And the difference between the undone part of the tank and the done part. Again, I've used very, very little of the stuff. One jar should last you multiple models. I do a tank, approximately a tank a month or so, and one little jar will last me 3, 4, maybe 5 months. They're for sale right now on eBay, about $20. I think I have it for about $16 right now, which may sound like a lot for one jar. However, of course, this is made here in the United States. It's made in my garage. It's not made from a factory. And also, one jar will replace buying multiple jars of many other products. It's also faster and easier to use. You don't have to use paint thinner to clean up washes. You don't have to worry about filters coming out the right way, too dark, too light. This is all done very easily. Great for kids, great for anyone learning. Try not to get it on your clothes. But if you do, it can come out in the washing machine if you put it in there immediately. I wear an apron just to make sure I don't get anything on me. So you can see the front of the turret now is nice and much lighter than the rest because of the color modeling, but the magic grime has blended it all together. I want to get it out of the middle of each fender and yet leave some of the filth around the saw, leave the filth around the edges and the cracks. And again, on the toolbox, I want to make sure that it's going the same direction the water would run off. It's important to make sure we get all of the little tiny pieces here and there. And as you do the tank, you'll see them appear and you can go back over them as many times as you want until you are satisfied. The toothbrush is the ideal thing to spread it around because it gets down in all the crevices and you can do large areas with it. I would suggest using a soft brush, like a child's toothbrush. You can get a good idea now the difference between the front and the back, the unfinished and the finished. The runoff. Any parts that I'm not happy with, I can go back over again and again until I am completely happy.